The Chicago Bears are starting to look like the team nobody wanted to see come together this fast. 1 year ago, people were still asking if Caleb Williams could handle the weight of Chicago. Now that question feels old. Ben Johnson has the offense moving towards something sharper. Ryan Poles did not chase noise, he added pieces with purpose. Rome Odunze gives the passing game size. Luther Burden III gives it burst. Colston Loveland gives it matchup stress. And suddenly, the Bears do not feel like a team hoping for respect. They feel like a team building pressure. But the part that makes this dangerous is not only the offense, it is how every move connects. Kobe Bryant walks into the secondary with big game experience. Dylan Thieneman brings speed to the back end. Devin Bush adds more movement at linebacker. Sam Roush gives the offense another tight end body who can change formations without warning. None of these moves scream alone. Together, they say something louder. Chicago is not building a pretty roster for headlines. Chicago is building a roster that makes Sundays harder, longer, and more uncomfortable for every team on the schedule. That is why this season feels different. The Bears now have the quarterback, the coach, the weapons, the defensive speed, and the kind of quiet roster depth that turns close games into wins. The scary part is how early this still feels. Caleb Williams has not hit his ceiling. Ben Johnson has not shown every wrinkle. Ryan Poles has not even reached the full payoff of this plan yet. And before anyone talks playoffs, awards, or the NFC North, there is one hidden advantage sitting inside the schedule that changes the whole season before the first snap is even played. The Chicago Bears already had talent, but the schedule handed them something contenders dream about. Extra breath, extra film time, extra recovery when other teams start feeling heavy. The number sitting over their season is plus 15 net rest days, and that changes how every tough matchup feels. It does not win games by itself. That would be lazy. But it gives Ben Johnson more time to build answers, fix problems, and attack weak spots before rivals catch up. This is where the season starts tilting. Chicago gets a Week 10 bye, then the year turns into a test of who can stay fresh while the division tightens. The Bears host Green Bay on Christmas Day. They get Detroit at home in Week 17. Those are not normal dates on a calendar. Those are pressure points, cold weather, division stakes, tired bodies, one mistake swinging the whole race. And Caleb Williams gets to walk into that stretch with a coach known for detail and a roster built to handle different styles. The scary part is not the rest edge alone. It is what that edge protects. It protects the offense while timing grows. It protects the defense while new pieces settle. It protects a quarterback learning how to close big games. And once the schedule starts helping instead of hurting, the next question becomes, what happens when Caleb Williams gets enough time to turn talent into real weekly control? Caleb Williams is not a rookie anymore, and that matters more than any headline. The first year was about surviving the noise. The second year was about proving the ceiling was real. Now the third year is about command. No more excuses about learning speed. No more hiding behind growing pains. Chicago has put real help around him, and that turns the spotlight into something sharper. If this offense jumps, it starts with his eyes, his timing, and his trust. The proof is already there if you look past the shouting. Caleb Williams gave the Bears 3,942 passing yards with 27 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. That is not empty volume. That is a quarterback showing he can carry a full season without handing games away. Now Ben Johnson gets to shape the next step. Faster throws, cleaner answers, better rhythm before pressure arrives. The whole offense changes if Caleb stops searching and starts dictating. That is where this becomes uncomfortable for the rest of the NFC North. Rome Odunze can win outside. Luther Burden III can attack space. Colston Loveland can punish matchups. Cole Kmet can settle the middle. Khalif Raymond can stress coverage underneath. Xavier Thomas brings speed waiting to be used. So the question is no longer whether Caleb Williams has weapons. The question is how defenses survive when all of them are moving at once. That is the trap now. The Bears' offense is dangerous because it no longer has to win one way. That is the part defenses hate. Ben Johnson can spread the field, tighten the formation, pound the middle, or force linebackers to cover space they do not want to cover. Press Taylor keeps the language familiar, so the system does not restart. it sharpens. And when a young offense stops thinking and starts reacting, the speed of the whole game changes. Look at the choices Chicago can throw at people. Rome Odunze gives Caleb Williams a big target outside the numbers. Luther Burden III brings burst after the catch. Colston Loveland can line up like a tight end and move like a receiver. Cole Kmet gives the room a steady veteran who knows where to sit when the play breaks loose. Khalif Raymond gives the offense a small space threat. Xavier Thomas brings the kind of speed that forces safeties to pause before crashing downhill. That pause is the point. One false step creates a lane. One late rotation creates a shot. One linebacker stuck in bad space creates an easy throw for Caleb Williams. This is not about one superstar saving the play. It is about too many answers coming from too many places. And buried inside that plan is a tight end move most fans treated like depth, even though Sam Roush might be the clue to the next version of this offense soon. Sam Roush does not need to become a star overnight to matter. That is what makes this pick interesting. The Bears took him in the 3rd round, and on paper, some people saw another tight end behind Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet. That is the surface view. The better question is why Ryan Poles added another big body to a room that already had answers. The answer points straight at identity. Sam Roush is built like a tight end who can live in traffic. He is 6'6", 267 pounds, and he played at Stanford, where smart football is not optional. He can help in the run game, he can leak into open space, he can make the same formation look heavy before the snap and dangerous after it. That matters for Ben Johnson because his best calls often make defenses choose wrong before the ball is even moved. Now tie it back to Cole Kmet. Chicago did not have to rush a breakup with him. They protected the present while drafting the future. That gives Caleb Williams more size, more disguise, and more help near the line of scrimmage. Sam Roush is a rookie, so nobody should pretend he is finished. But if he earns snaps early, the offense gains another hidden door. And when that door opens, the defense has to guess again. That is where Chicago can steal easy yards late in games too. The defense got faster where speed changes everything. That is the back end. Chicago did not simply add names to the secondary. It added range, tackling, and the kind of closing burst that makes quarterbacks hold the ball one beat longer. Kobe Bryant brings experience from a winning defense. Dylan Thieneman brings first-round juice. Together, they give Dennis Allen something this group needed badly: more ways to erase mistakes. Dylan Thieneman is the rookie who can flip the feel of the defense early. He ran a 4.35 40, and that speed shows up in how quickly he can close space. But the bigger deal is how he reads the field. He does not have to chase every play if he sees it early. Pair that with Kobe Bryant, and the Bears suddenly have safeties who can play with force, range, and confidence behind the corners. That changes the job for everyone else. Jaylon Johnson does not have to carry the entire coverage picture alone. Tyreek Stevenson gets more help over the top. Kyler Gordon can keep attacking the nickel role. Cam Lewis adds depth and flexibility. Devin Bush brings more speed to the second level. The pass rush still has to grow, but a faster secondary buys time. That is when pressure turns from hope into expectation every single week now. And once a back end starts stealing that extra second, the front has no more excuses. This is the honest part. The Bears can have the quarterback, the coach, the weapons, and the schedule, but the pass rush still decides how far the whole thing travels. Last season, Chicago finished with 24 team sacks. That number is not enough for a team trying to control January. It does not mean the front is broken. It means the front has to grow fast. Montez Sweat is still the name opponents circle first. He has the burst to wreck a drive by himself, but he cannot be the only answer. Dayo Odeyingbo needs to come back strong. Grady Jarrett has to give inside push. Jervin Dexter Sr. has to keep turning flashes into steady damage. Austin Booker, Daniel Hardy, Shemar Turner, Neville Gallimore, Kentavious Street, and Jordan Vandenberg all matter because pressure is not built from one spot. It is built by waves. That is why Dennis Allen becomes so important. His defense does not need every rusher to become a star. It needs cleaner rush lanes, better timing, and fewer free escapes. If the front climbs from weak to average, the rest of the roster starts looking dangerous in a hurry. The offense can score, the secondary can cover, the schedule can help. But the Bears' ceiling depends on whether the pocket finally starts closing. Because in this division, clean pockets turn good quarterbacks into problems, and Chicago knows it now. The NFC North is not soft, and pretending it is would be lazy. Detroit still has power. Green Bay still has answers. Minnesota still has structure. But the Bears are the team with the fresh danger. They have the quarterback rising, the coach designing, the weapon stacking, and the secondary moving faster than it did a year ago. That is why the division race feels different before it even starts. The games that matter are sitting right there. Chicago sees Green Bay twice, including Christmas Day at Soldier Field. The Bears travel to Detroit on Thanksgiving, then get the Lions back at home in Week 17. They open division work with Minnesota, then close the regular season against the Vikings again. That is not just a schedule. That is a test of nerve. Caleb Williams has to be steady. Ben Johnson has to stay one step ahead. Dennis Allen has to make the defense travel. Here's the call. If the pass rush becomes even average, the Chicago Bears win the division. Not because the rivals are weak, because the Bears have more connected answers than they have had in years. Caleb Williams pushes toward an elite season. Dylan Thieneman becomes a real factor. Sam Roosh earns surprise snaps. And the league learns the hard way that Chicago is no longer coming. Chicago is already here. That is the fear sitting in plain sight for every opponent across this fall now.